It's Miss Cinderella, and today I'd like to share a heart full of love. This is a tale about Cinderella and a special gift from her prince. Cinderella and the prince were very happy. They liked to do all kinds of things together, from horseback riding and going on outings with Cinderella's mouse friends. One day, as the snow began to melt, the prince had an idea. Our first anniversary is just a couple of months away. I think we should plan a grand ball to celebrate. Cinderella smiled. That's a wonderful idea. The weeks went by very quickly. Cinderella invited folks from all over the kingdom. 2 days before the ball, the prince surprised her with a beautiful sapphire ring. The ring was truly lovely, and Cinderella treasured it. For the rest of the day, she could think of nothing else but the prince she loved so deeply. The next day, Cinderella realized she'd lost her ring. Oh no! She checked her pockets and inside her long gloves, but it was nowhere to be found. Cinderella's mouse friends Jack and Gus appeared. Not a worry, Cinderella. I'll help you. Then Jack had an idea. They would look in all the places the princess had been. Where you go and where you look. Cinderella smiled. Yes, of course. The first thing I did after the prince gave me the ring was go up to my room to write in my diary. They hurried to Cinderella's bedroom, but the ring wasn't there. Cinderella frowned. Let's try the kitchen then. That's where I went next when I wanted to make some tea. They looked in pots and under trays, but the only ring in the kitchen was a day-old sugar donut. Gus sampled it anyway. Yum, yum, delicious. Next, they hurried to the music room where Cinderella had gone to practice a new song. Jock and Gus searched the piano inside and out. Gus even played a song, hopping on the keys as he looked. Still, the ring was nowhere to be found. Cinderella hesitated for a moment. Perhaps we should try the library. I read there for a while. Jock agreed. Come on, Gus Gus. Got a flurry. Although they searched every shelf, they still couldn't find the ring. Cinderella began to get nervous. She didn't want the prince to notice that she'd lost his gift. She went upstairs to get ready for dinner. The princess changed into her evening gown and started downstairs. She paused for a moment, wondering what the prince would say when he found out. Cinderella began to cry softly. She felt terrible. Soon the prince walked down the hall. He saw Cinderella crying and gave her a hug. What's wrong, my dear? Cinderella explained quickly. Somehow I lost the anniversary ring you gave me. I've looked everywhere, but I can't find it. The prince smiled. I'm sure it will turn up tomorrow. And if it doesn't, I know you didn't lose it on purpose. Please don't be sad. Cinderella looked at the prince gratefully. She was so glad to be married to him. The next morning, Cinderella woke up and started looking for the ring right away. She shook out her pages of her diary again. Gus shook his head. Not a ring for Cinderella. The princess went through the house again. While in the library, she remembered something. You know, I went out to the stables to feed and brush Frau. Perhaps I lost my ring in his stall. They raced to the stable and searched the stall, sifting through the piles and piles of straw. Gus even searched Frau's feed trough, but they still couldn't find the sapphire ring. Cinderella scratched her head. There's one more place that I can think to look. Cinderella and the mice went to the garden. Cinderella remembered she had been picking flowers for the ball there. Gus searched the tulips. Pretty, pretty. Jock hopped onto a lily. They searched each and every blossom until Gus shouted, Cinderella! He scurried to the ground and picked up a shiny round object. Ta-da! The princess shook her head. That's just a marble. It was almost time to get ready for the ball. Cinderella began to walk toward the palace. Wait a minute. It was after I finished the flower arrangement that I noticed my beautiful ring was gone. And that was just after I drew some water for the vase. You don't suppose it could have fallen down the well? Jock dragged Gus over to the bucket. Not a worry, Cinderella. Us a look. Cinderella lowered the bucket. Be careful down there. Jock and Gus smiled nervously. Cinderella called down to the mice several minutes later. Do you see anything? Jock looked around. Too dark down here. Then Gus shouted, Cinderella! Cinderella pulled up the bucket as fast as she could. Thank goodness you're okay. What did you see down there? Gus smiled. Oh, Cinderella's ring. The princess clapped her hands together. My heroes, you found it just in time. Stay right here. Cinderella rushed inside and changed into her ball gown. When she returned, the prince was with her. Cinderella picked up her sapphire ring. Look what Gus and Jock found in the well. What a wonderful thing. I knew it would turn up. Jock and Gus, I would like to invite you to be the guest of honor tonight. The mice beamed happily. That night at the anniversary ball, the prince surprised Cinderella with a card and a heart-shaped box that held a sapphire bracelet. The mice each gave her a red rose. Cinderella's heart was full of love for her wonderful prince and her devoted friends. The end.